Welcome to session 5.2 about the testbed technical infrastructure. This infrastructure offers software components to create a realistic, simulated environment, to execute the trial scenario, link up solutions, and be able to observe and control the trial. These technical tools are used during the trial runs and trial executions. The technical setup is therefore started at the TIM and should be 90% finished at trial run 1. This session is primarily aimed at trial organizers and technicians. Solution providers are advised to join in as well. By completing this session, you will learn about which components are offered by the technical infrastructure and what they can do. Select those components, simulators and datasets needed for your trial. Work together with technicians to set up and use the required technical infrastructure, where more details such as installers and documentations can be found. The advanced part consists of an interview with the technician explaining which steps to take in the technical setup.
The Testbed technical infrastructure is a set of software tools available for you open source to facilitate the execution of trials. The tools itself are mostly used within the execution phase, but as a trial organizer, you should start considering the technical infrastructure from the moment you are starting to think about data collection and the functionality is used up until the data analysis step within the evaluation phase. The functionalities within the Testbed technical infrastructure are aimed at three main objectives. First, it provides functionality to link solutions, legacy systems, and simulators with each other, such that they can exchange data about a realistic yet fictive crisis. Second, it provides trial staff full control over how the digital trial script is executed, and thus which use cases of the solutions are triggered when. And third, it provides an application to collect human observations and store all these observations and log all data exchange for a thorough evaluation. These functionalities of the technical infrastructure are aimed at trial owners, the evaluation and technical coordinators, observers, solution providers, and technicians. Note that this technical infrastructure could also be completely or partly used for exercises. This session consists of both a basic and an advanced part. The basic part consists of two animations: explain the core components of the Testbed technical infrastructure and the extra components available for software developers and system administrators. As advanced part, an interview is provided with a technician who is involved in the implementation of the technical infrastructure in all 5 trials of the Driver Plus project. The basic part of this session presents you with 2 so-called explanimation videos. The first video presents the core components of the Testbed technical infrastructure. The second provides more information about functionalities for software developers, system administrators, and other technicians. Testbed technical infrastructure, a toolbox of software components to facilitate trials. This is Barbara, a crisis management professional in the west of the Netherlands. With sea levels rising due to climate change and the Netherlands being partly below sea level, one of the most imminent challenges Barbara faces is the risk of severe flooding. She wonders how she can improve her region's crisis management capabilities in case such a disastrous flood was ever to occur. There are many innovative crisis management solutions she could consider using. For example, a drone could be deployed to provide a live camera view of the flooded area. Or social media could be used more effectively to communicate with citizens in distress. Or Barbara could choose to provide upgraded technology in ambulances to rescue victims of the flood. But do they really make a difference? And how to assess each one objectively? And how do these new solutions work together with operational systems already in use? This is where Driver Plus, an EU-funded project, can help Barbara. Driver Plus offers her the trial guidance methodology to assess these solutions in an objective and realistic trial. Barbara decides she would like to set up such a trial and asks her colleague Thomas to help out. Driver Plus also provides them with the Testbed technical infrastructure, a toolbox with software components that can help to set up and manage a trial. The common information space is used to connect solutions, so that they can exchange data and share information. For instance, a digital map can show not only where the drone is, but also the position of GPS-tracked ambulances. These connections are created by software developers using standardized interface adapters. To create a realistic setting in which to trial these solutions, a fictitious crisis needs to be simulated, such as by using a flood simulator. Other simulators can be added as well, for instance, to simulate social media messages, crowds, or traffic. The common simulation space is used to link these simulators together so they can exchange data and information. The gateway in the middle provides a data link between the common simulation space and the common information space, allowing simulators to create and share a fictive crisis with the solutions. If required, a security layer can be added to the Testbed technical infrastructure and all the connections. With the trial management tool, the trial staff creates fictive but realistic crisis scenarios consisting of multiple storylines. Each storyline is an essential part of the overall scenario and is designed to trigger specific use cases of the solutions. During the trial itself, the staff uses the trial management tool to control if and when each storyline is activated. How the solutions are being used by the trial's participants is recorded in the Observer Support tool. By presenting them with prepared questions at the right moment, observers are guided to pay attention to specific behaviors or test cases. And at the end of a trial, all the recorded observations and logs are collected in the After-Action Review tool for subsequent analysis in the evaluation phase. When everything is properly set up and tested, the trial can start. Participants and observers are invited to join. The primary task of the observers is to watch the participants and record how effectively they are able to use the new solutions to manage the simulated crisis. When everyone is ready, the staff starts the trial. The flood starts to evolve at a rate calculated by the flood simulator. The participants activate the drone. It provides them a realistic-looking video feed of the flooded area. In the trial management tool, the next storyline is activated. The flood evolves further and the vehicles move away from the flood according to routes calculated by the traffic simulator. The staff escalates the crisis even further by initiating the explosion storyline. One of the vehicles explodes. Now the participants must act. They decide to send in an ambulance. Its movement is again determined by the traffic simulator. The data, which flows within the Testbed technical infrastructure, starts when the staff activates various storylines in the trial management tool. These messages flow to the simulators, resulting in changes to the fictive crisis. Information about the simulated crisis is sent to the solutions. The solutions share data amongst each other, and participants' actions in the solutions are relayed back to the simulators. By sending in observations via the Observer Support tool, observers record how participants use the solutions. An overview of observations collected is sent back to the trial staff so they can track the progress of the trial. When the staff concludes all the use cases have been acted out, the trial ends. All data, logs and observations are stored by the After-Action Review tool. Now, Thomas and Barbara have a look at all the data they collected. Together, they analyze it, evaluate the trial, and make an objective assessment of the solutions. They now know how they can best improve crisis management if their region must face another flood. Testbed Technical Infrastructure, Developers Extras. To deploy, configure, and run the Testbed technical infrastructure anytime and anywhere, and to simplify connecting solutions and simulators, the Toolbox offers an extra set of components to software developers and system administrators. All software is open source and available on GitHub. The technical infrastructure and additional tools can also be installed via Docker. Simply select the components you need and a single Docker Compose file will be created for you to run anywhere. The Testbed technical infrastructure comes with a set of connectors in Java, C#, JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, and as REST endpoint. They easily connect to the common information space and common simulation space, and you can customize them to connect to your own solution or simulator. In the Infrastructure's admin tool, you configure the connection of your solution or simulators to the CIS or CSS. By using Avro schemas, you make sure that all messages are correctly specified. The admin tool also allows you to add security to the infrastructure and its connectors. To test these connections, you can use the message injector and the replay service. The message injector allows you to send a single message to a solution or simulator, so you can check that your application performs as expected. Via the replay service, you can send a stack of messages over time and check that your application processes them in the right order at the right time. You also may have to test if your application can send data to the CIS or CSS. A solution is well connected if all supported messages are sent and received correctly. This must be tested for every solution and simulator connected to the Testbed technical infrastructure. For a specific trial, the gateway between the CIS and CSS must also be configured. The gateway consists of one or more translators. They translate and filter data from a simulator format into a format standardized for crisis management applications. Similarly, other translators can translate data from a CM solution into a format readable by one or more simulators. When fully configured, the gateway consists of multiple translators that convert messages back and forth between the CIS and CSS. Finally, the Testbed infrastructure also offers you additional services to facilitate running a trial. When you have successfully set up and tested all the components, the Testbed infrastructure is ready for your trial and can be used by the trial owner and other trial staff members to create the trial scenario and observation templates, execute the trial, and evaluate its results. This advanced part contains an interview about the experiences gained when implementing the TTI for the 5-Driver Plus trials. Here you can find more information about how the technical preparations and execution link up with the other preparation works, such as solution selection, scenario writing, and evaluation. Let's do a short recap of this session. The set of facilitative tools offered by the Testbed technical infrastructure, which can be used from the moment in the preparation phase you are starting to think about data collection and is used up to the data analysis step within the evaluation phase. These software tools are freely available via the open source platform GitHub. These tools offer a lot of functionalities, but implementation does require the capabilities of a software developer or system administrator. Remember that how to use them is mainly decided upon by the trial owner and evaluation coordinator. Together with the technical coordinator, they have to combine the technical matters, the use cases of the solutions to trial, the scenario, and the evaluation aspects.